things are about to get crazy in crypto, and if you don't do this correctly, you stand to leave a load of money on the table. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I'm buying right now in order to put myself in the best position going forward. So hit that like button and let's get into today's video. Now guys, there's a very important thing that is happening right now and many people are not paying attention. Now in the past I've showed you this and it's really important to understand the path to altcoin season. When we look into crypto, it doesn't all move at the same time. So not everything goes up on the same day, but we get Bitcoin moving first, followed by Ethereum, and then into the larger caps, and then into the altcoin season. And the altcoin season is where we're going to be making our 50x, 100x. But buying those coins right now that sit within that bracket are not really where you're going to make the gains. Because you can make gains in Bitcoin and then into Ethereum and then move the money along as you go, taking profits and moving it into the next big gem. And that's how you can turn a small amount of money into a potentially enormous sum of money in just the next couple of years. And if you're subscribed to my channel, which you absolutely should be, you would have seen this before and you'll understand what I'm about to tell you. Now, as we know, everything is linked to the Bitcoin chart, but Bitcoin is not really where I want to be placing my money right now because I feel it's already had a nice surge towards the upside. We know that we're not going to see huge gains in Bitcoin unless we've got a large amount of capital going forward. And what we can see on this pattern is something very significant. And I don't think many people are talking about this right now. But if I'm to draw this trend line down through here, then we can see that we had this top back in March of 2021. We then had obviously the break beyond and the top of the bull market. But then we are now retesting this level. Now, obviously, we could potentially roll over. But in my opinion, I think we're going to break through this. And that is going to see us exploding extremely fast towards the next levels up. And why this is so significant, I want to take you through what I'm looking at right now. Now, this is the Bitcoin chart at the top, and underneath you can see Solana. And why this is such an important chart to pay attention to is because of the dates of the last bull market. Now, you can see this is the 5th of April 2021. Bitcoin by this point had pretty much reached 63k, and at the time Solana was sat between sort of $25 and $40. Now that was basically the first bull market, but Solana at this point was not a large cap coin. It was an altcoin, okay? And then we got into the altcoin season after Bitcoin had already gone from being worth around $9,000 in a very short space of time. It went up 616%. During that same period of time though, Solana only went up nearly 3x, which is not very much considering that it's a small cap. It holds the risk of small cap coins. And then what we get into is Bitcoin coming towards the downside, and then we get into the proper bull market for Solana. And during this period of time, Solana did an 8x. So what I'm saying is in the first market, we could have got a 6x out of Bitcoin and then moved that money into the likes of Solana, Polygon, and other coins that boom towards the upside. But Solana is a perfect example of why those small cap altcoins are probably not where you want to be putting your money right now, but instead this is what I will be doing. Now this is a different one. This is Ethereum on the bottom and Bitcoin on the top. And why this is so significant is during the last bull market, Ethereum was a large cap altcoin. And what we can see here on the 23rd of November is what happened to Bitcoin before its high, which it hit approximately the start of February. And between that period of time, Bitcoin did 235%. But in that same period of time, Ethereum went from being down here, and then eventually Ethereum pretty much surged in line with Bitcoin. And it did arrive at this high later than Bitcoin, but it did a 6x in that period of time. So what we're really looking at right now, guys, is the biggest gains, in my opinion, are about to come, not from Bitcoin, but from the likes of Ethereum and other large cap altcoins. And I say large cap altcoins, I'm talking top 10, top sort of 15, 20 altcoins out there. I'm not saying that we're going to see huge growth right now in the coins that are sitting outside the top 50, perhaps outside the top 100. And that's important because it's not just about buying one coin and sitting and holding that coin forevermore. If you want to do things properly and you want to really maximize your gains, then you're going to do this. Another metric we're looking at, which is important, is over on Blockchain Center, guys, which is a free website. It's linked down below. You can get all the data and stuff of what's happening on Bitcoin. But this is the Bitcoin season or altcoin season index. When it's Bitcoin season, it's not really such a good time to see growth in altcoins. But I want to pay attention to some of the dates on here and see what we saw over on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So the 13th of August 2021, we were down in a similar level to where we're sat right now, kind of down in this red zone. This is Bitcoin season. And that's important because what we can see here is a good indication of what we might be about to see next. So here we go, guys. 13th of August 2021, we're sat somewhere like this. And you can see after this period of time, Bitcoin has had a little bit of a push towards the upside. And then what we see is Bitcoin starts to tail off and Ethereum does tail off with it. But following this sort of tail off, Bitcoin then pumps another 55%. And in that same period of time, Ethereum does a similar thing. So what we're seeing in that period of time right now is the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum, the top cryptocurrencies, starting to slow down in their growth. And if we look at Bitcoin over the last 6 months or so, it's up 91%, and Ethereum in a similar amount of time is up 70%. So if we refer back to this, and we see the Bitcoin phase 1 and phase 2 that we saw back in August of 2021, we probably have just seen that. And actually what we're now starting to look into, perhaps, is the transition from phase 2 into phase 3. Now, I'm not saying this is full-blown bull market. We're going to see this last forever. But I think that we're going to see some bounces coming. And I think the large caps are probably where I'm looking right now. And this is important. This is crypto.com. And what you can see, basically, after Bitcoin pumps, crypto.com literally does nothing, okay? It's just sliding towards the side. So from that August level there, you can see that crypto.com is doing literally nothing. And then suddenly we see another pump in Bitcoin. And then what we see is really significant, because here you can see that Bitcoin is starting to tire out after a big run towards the upside, and it finishes that run around the 8th of November. Now look at crypto.com. This is the first week of November, and we can see that during that time that Bitcoin started to slide towards the downside, we saw crypto.com surging around 350% up towards the upside. This represents that once we get Bitcoin and Ethereum starting to slow down, that the large caps will start to come in. Now, I do believe, looking into Bitcoin, we're obviously running into a very significant line of resistance. I do believe that we could well be about to bounce here. If we fall down towards this downside, though, I think that we may see a bit of a burst in the prices of large caps. Now, obviously, we see Bitcoin bursting up here. It's not necessarily a problem if we're in the large caps, because we're still going to see good growth in the large caps. But if you were buying Bitcoin and Ethereum down at these levels, which you probably should have been, then you're going to be starting to think, well, we could see Bitcoin and Ethereum starting to slow a little here, because from current levels to around 40k, then that's a 30% push in Bitcoin. You could be looking at 2x's, 3x's, etc. coming out of the likes of Solana, Cardano, these large cap coins. And what's important to note is now we do have a much bigger collection of large cap coins going on. So if we look into Hbar, we can see that we are slowly down the bottom. We're not doing much, right? And actually, this is for me where I think I'm going to start taking the profits out of Ethereum and Bitcoin and moving it into the likes of Hbar, because we could potentially see this sort of push of 90% in that time that we're going to see Bitcoin doing like a 30% gain. So this is what I'm starting to look at here. And looking across the rest of the large caps, XLM doing very similar things, not really having done very much for a long period of time. But looking at Crowcoin, this is going to take everyone by storm, I believe. It's going to happen very, very quickly. So actually, if I was to be looking at what I'm buying right now, I'm going to be kind of starting to get out of the likes of Bitcoin and Ethereum. I will maintain my positions in those, but I will be starting to move my money down that channel in towards the large cap altcoins. Which large caps am I buying right now? Well, you know, guys, I've talked about Hbar on here. I've talked about XLM. And here, again, you've got Solana doing something very, very similar we've seen in XLM and Hbar. This, again, makes it a good purchase as far as I'm concerned. Now, there's obviously other large caps out there. And I'm not saying that we then need to just make all our money in Solana and that Cardano's a better thing, or XLM or Hbar is going to outperform Solana. I don't really care your kind of own personal thoughts on individual coins, but we know that these large cap coins, such as Solana, are going to see good growth in the next phase of the market. Now, what I would then be looking to do is once Solana starts to push, and if we see good growth from Solana, we've still got a good year or so, I would say, before we can start taking the money out of the likes of Solana and moving into the likes of Jasmy, or perhaps smaller cap altcoins that sit between the kind of 150 and like 500 area. And also you can then use the money to move into the kind of the new coins, the coins that maybe we haven't even heard of yet, ones that are kind of launching onto the scene. but by then we're already sitting pretty. We've already put ourselves in a good position. The problem with investing into coins that have just launched right now, or coins that have launched a while ago and are kind of just sat there quietly entering into their first bull market, they're not going to see the bull market, in my opinion, for like another year or so. So we need to make the most of the opportunity to make cash in Bitcoin, Ethereum, the large caps right now, and then we can move that money down the line. Now, with people who are like, my full bag is in Hbar and Hbar is going to go to the moon, it might do. It might see like a 50x, it might even see 100x, but you really need to be taking profits out of those coins and moving them into the next coins that are going to pump, because not everything pumps at the same time. We need to make gains where we can and then move that money into coins that are not yet pumping that will pump. I hope that makes sense, guys. And if you're not sure where you want to buy these coins because you live in the US, maybe you have restrictions on different accounts and things like that, I get it. Also, if you're using Coinbase, while it's easy to use, it is very expensive. You should definitely be getting into other exchanges out there. So guys, hit the link down below for NordVPN. If you're living in the US, it's going to allow you to access the likes of KuCoin, BitGet, and other big exchanges out there that are going to let you buy different coins much cheaper than you're going to be able to buy on Coinbase. Not only that, it's going to keep you safe from malware, spyware while you're searching online. And literally for the price of a cup of coffee, which you can get through that link down below in the description, you're going to be able to keep yourself safe in crypto and potentially protect yourself from losing thousands and thousands of dollars in the future. And that's like a 60% discount from the House of Crypto, so make sure you use that link down below if you want to get that NordVPN today. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did and found it useful, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, then subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.